So, hello and welcome to the New Gig podcast. I'm your host, Glenn Hodgson, and today I'm delighted to be joined by the founder and CEO of AnchorzUp, Jeta Zagragja. How are you doing, Jeta?
Hi, Glenn. I'm doing fantastic. How about you?
Doing very well. Now, Jeta, let's just give us a little bit of a background about yourself, your personal journey, and also what you're doing with Anchors Up at the moment. You've got very exciting things on the go, so it'd be great to hear a little bit about that.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, first of all. So I'm Jeta Zagragja, and kudos to you for that pronunciation. I know it's not very straightforward. Glenn, I'm based in Kosovo. I'm from Kosovo, a small country in Europe. Not everybody knows. I'm sure your audience stretches beyond Europe. I've been in a tech space basically in the last 10 years in a C-level position, whether leading biz dev, ops, or product development. Before that, I was in finance and consulting industries. And so sort of all this experience throughout the years have culminated to a position now of founding my second company, which is AnchorzUp. Before this, about 7 years ago, with two partners, we've grew a company from just 5 developers to 95 when we had a
Wow.
successful exit, a Chicago-based company. It was a super proud moment to be able to generate that value from a small country like Kosovo, we just feel like it's such a hidden gem in Europe, and be able to utilize all this talent and give better economic perspective and put Kosovo on the map for services like this. Basically, after that acquisition, and a year later, I founded AnchorzUp. At AnchorzUp, we're so specializing in custom software development, outsourcing, and the digital solutions. We are in a strategically positioned. We feel like we're from Kosovo, but we're strategically positioned in Kosovo because it's such a dynamic hub in the crossroads of Eastern and Western Europe, with 70% of the population under 35 years old. Great internet penetration, and a lot of talent that are pursuing in some career in the ICT field. We are serving mostly industries such as fintech, medtech, edtech, or energy efficiency. We do believe that we've been sort of established over the years as a trusted partner. We seek for long-term sustainable relationships with our clients who are seeking to tap into high expertise or grow faster through our outsourcing and software development services. We do export from Kosovo about 98% of our services to
Right.
markets in United States and Switzerland. And we are basically specializing in building teams and across engineering, support, sales, and marketing. Obviously, leveraging a lot of the technology has given us a competitive edge in innovation, expanding creativity, and basically empowering clients to drive this digital transformation in the dynamic markets wherever they operate.
Absolutely. And it's really interesting what you're doing in this space, the utilization of technology, systems, and approaches. And it'd be great to have your inputs as well about how things are actually changing in terms of the world of work, future of work, both in terms of the corporations and organizations from their side, how they are getting the knowledge, skills, and expertise that they need, but also the people that you work with on the other side as well. How does talent operate these days? What's it looking for in the marketplace? And how is it sort of operating in terms of keeping itself relevant, but also looking for the opportunities with increased flexibility?
Mhm. Um, Obviously, you bring up all very great points and so much buzz that's happening, especially in our industry. I feel like everybody's talking about the transformation that AI is bringing, and with automated processes and deliverables, and expediting work and expanding what you can do and how people can better utilize their potential and their time to more efficiently. I have as a leader, I don't only have like an interest, but I have a sort of an obsession a little bit with efficiency and productivity. And so I've been
Yes.
very keen from the very early and many years ago, and even before, AI became such a, up for consumer type of technology. To integrate it into our work environment, our processes, just so that we can obviously, there's always a pressure in our industry to maintain and gain a competitive advantage. And I just truly believe that AI, it's not just a buzzword. I feel like over our generation, this age, we've seen a lot of technologies maybe come. There's somewhere around still. Some might have, died down, but AI is just, it's a lot more than a buzzword, and it's really transforming how we work. And so I think for us, it has been a sort of a no-brainer and we have worked to integrate it in all fronts of our operations, technology, engineering, development, finance, predictions, and all that, so that we just have a more high level understanding, but we can support also staff in their day to day. It was a true wake up call, honestly, when we at some point we made an offer to a client in the United States and to produce some work for them, which was sort of business analytics, their marketing channels performing, yada yada. And so this was supposed to be a retainer with more intensive work in the beginning and onboarding. And they came back and said, we're doing this, this, and this through AI. So this is no longer, competitive and
Yeah.
relevant in your pricing. It's kind of off. And we're like, oh my God, like let's actually look back to re-engineer some of our processes, because we will end up in meeting and not being able to serve some of the, our target audience, target market, if we maintain our traditional ways of working. But
Mm.
at a high level, obviously, remote and hybrid work has been part of every company ever since COVID. We genuinely have never experimented. Nobody did not cross the mind, the idea of working from home before
Yeah.
COVID. However, that is still for us. I am. I'm slightly, and I don't want to be the black sheep here because everybody's just so excited about going fully remote, but I'm not a strong believer that we should ditch altogether the traditional
Okay.
space. And I think it comes with a lot of obligations from both employers and employee sides and whoever's contributing. I think some flexibility is absolutely necessary if you want to stay in the space. I think the the generations have changed. So you no longer can motivate someone like, here's your job description and you get paid
Yeah.
the salary at the end of the month. But you need to be a lot more attentive into having other recognition schemes and acknowledgments and, feedback loops, etc. And this facilitation of all this often comes, at the cost that companies need to be able to be prepared to measure what it really matters. And that is
Yeah.
not that time, but it's productive work. It's the value that's being created.
Mm.
And as much as you hear generally statistically, I feel like most of the kind of surveys analysis that we look at are sending sort of signals on that direction that
Yeah.
everyone wants remote and everyone wants hybrid. I think our experience is rather, I don't want to say isolated, but we see it all. And we see also people who have tried out for some time because of circumstances in their lives, transition, careers and stuff. And then they come here and we have an open office, basically not 24/7, but for 16 hours during the day,
Yeah.
Monday to Friday. And we welcome everybody to come on board, and we work remote for 2 days a week if they choose to. But we have people that are from the very young generation that come to us and they say, I want to be part of an office. I want to
Yeah.
learn from peers. I can better facilitate brainstorming. You can better come up with joint solutions. And it really all depends who's it for. It depends on a lot of stuff like the project they're working on, seniority of the people that are looking for this, people that are a bit more senior, they are more independent into being able to produce that value more independently, and then they can work from
Yeah.
anywhere. Whereas those that depend a little bit more from inputs from the others, we feel like that it's better facilitated in office. Um, Another aspect of the future of work and kind of globally, obviously, there's a lot more focus on the well-being, and where some companies and countries are also considering and experimenting with 4-day work week.
Mm.
And I feel like in a world that there's burnout is such a common um, thing today, and I think it's been a push from capitalism, obviously, that you have to always do a little bit more. Future work is a little bit about more of a balance and about smart strategies, and at the end of the day, putting people first.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think that's crucial. And it's interesting what you say about the AI piece there as well, because you're growing rapidly. Even though you're integrating AI into your processes, you're making it more streamlined, more efficient. At the same time, you're not getting rid of people. It's more, do you find that it's using the technologies there to allow people to focus on what they're best at, to be able to deliver more value to both the organization, but also to customers and partners as well? It's not a case of replacing jobs, it's just focusing slightly differently on different tasks.
Mhm. Yes, true. Expand the creativity, come back with better
Yeah.
work, more precise, deliverables on what's expected, faster for sure, gaining an efficiency. I don't want to be, just say all the things that people want to hear, but also tell the truth. We are
Yeah.
growing at least 100% from year to year. We're coming to our 3-year anniversary soon.
Yeah.
But we're growing with people because we see so much potential. And I always say I'm a farmer. I've planted seeds, I've taken care of them, I've nurtured them, then some of them are, bearing fruits now. So there's
Yes.
a lot coming our way. And for us to be able to manage growth as well and to utilize the people that we truly believe in, that are not only excellent technically, but they have the cultural fit that, and the personalities that can persevere into our ever-changing environment, which is
Mm.
not easy position to be in. And I do feel for them. If you're watching, I know publicly, I recognize every individual in our team that's fueled by grit. But that is in fact to be able to expand and to better tap into what's possible and utilize people. But truthfully, if we do achieve successfully to be able to expand creativity, to get more job done, to get it done faster, at some point, if I needed, if I need now one product designer, but the workload's increasing, but this product designer is becoming more productive. It's not that I will get rid of this one or not hire, but I might not need to hire the second one. So
Yeah.
it's not entirely that it's in a way it's not taking jobs, but I think, and I don't want to say the cliche, it's taking the jobs of those who are not using AI, but really it's an extreme push and importance right now that we adapt and we get ahead of the market curve and all the developments that are happening. You cannot, this is what I'm saying, kind of even transforming the workplace and measuring what it matters for companies as well. It's a huge burden and demand to be able to define all this in an ever evolving market and
Yeah.
work environment.
Yeah, and I also want to pick up on the point you raised about sort of the 3 or 4 day work week. And I often find that this is the fact that we talk about work-life balance, but it's more work-life integration. I think people will give you flexibility and these kind of things, but the idea that you can just kind of do less somehow, I just don't think that's particularly honestly particularly relevant. I think people are going to have to work a lot, but in areas where they find it sort of pleasurable, they have interest, they sense a feeling of fulfillment and completion by and pride also in the tasks that they're doing. I'd say this is more the focus that should be done as opposed to working less yet in these fronts.
I I 100% agree. I just think that how economics work and how markets typically evolve, like it's a little bit, I feel like it's a little bit naive to believe that, oh, people are going to work less. I think
Yeah.
the demand is for people to work smarter, but I'm sure with younger generation like Gen Z now, they're not millennials. I'm a millennial, but they're not gonna give it all, whatever they have for this company. So they are putting some boundaries to get more of that, to achieve more of that well-being, that balance
Mm.
that they seek in their lives. And maybe as much as there's push from integrating more tools and smarter technologies to help us do the work, I think naturally companies would have evolved into just placing more responsibilities on people that now that they're doing things faster and better.
Yeah.
But I think with the generation that we are now, it's hot and up and coming and employing mostly probably not sure statistically, but occupying a good percentage of the workforce, they will push this boundary and will not take that all, upon them because, of course, I've done this, define the role, but I think it's a significant factor to not allow this to really just so that we work around the clock. I think flexibility is absolutely necessary. I'm also, and just this morning I was talking to my husband, how important it is and the flexibility I have, for example, day to day. I'm a mom as well,
Yeah.
of a 2-year-old, and especially as much as, and I'm a feminist. I've never wanted to talk about women issues, but instead serve as a role model of what women can be and that you can have
Yeah.
so many aspects, and you can have the professional and you can have the career and you can have the family and all that. However, you do need a support system and you do need that flexibility because you do
Yeah.
need to be at home or with your kid at certain hours, but then you can be completely free to continue to work when they go to bed at 7 p.m. And so
Completely. Yeah.
I think it's necessary to also offer this flexibility so that we tap on basically half of the population of the world that's not best utilized, which are women. And as much as the roles of stay-at-home dads and fathers are increasing and taking more responsibilities at home, I still think in large, in big part of the world, this equilibrium is far from being, reached. And flexibility and all this. Hybrid work and the future of work will mean that everyone will also see the benefit and advantage of
Yeah.
integrating more women into the workforce and economic development.
Well, absolutely. It's essential. I mean, you don't have to be a feminist. You can just be sort of a very pragmatic economist. If you're not getting the benefits of half the population, the
Yeah.
knowledge, skills, and expertise that exist are not being utilized. And I think you've got kind of the economic element, there's the social element, but also there's the mental health and societal piece there as well. That people want to contribute, they want to be able to deliver value, but if you're saying you have to be in a specific place 9 to 5, 5 days a week, that's actually creating very much a limitation on the possibilities, and everyone loses out. Yet that's the issue here.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is where we all need to be smart. And it's the time is right now. When we talk future of work, I believe it's the present of the work because a
Yes.
lot of that work needs to be done now. And this is
Yeah.
not in some distant future that may not impact our company's growth and well-being, and us as individuals, and crucial parts of it.
Yeah, I think increasingly so as well. And as you were saying there, for Gen Z, it's gone the other way around. The technology is there, everyone's a digital native, but uh, individuals realize the strength and possibilities of actual human contact and having sort of a meetings in the office, co-creating things, maybe going out, having some food or having some drinks after work with either colleagues or contacts or potential partners. So this kind of natural networking piece, which has brought on a new element of significance and value because the technology is here. We're speaking via digital means now, but nothing replaces that human contact and the sort of the face-to-face nature of interactions.
Absolutely. And it's pragmatic business, strategy to also facilitate that culture and that network where people can understand each other better, because ultimately the productivity and when technical expertise needed, they're gonna be better at exchanging that, at understanding a colleague that's not feeling their 100%
Yeah.
today, and they can pick up the work, but these are not individuals sitting somewhere or even sitting in a company, because that can happen as well. I mean, unless companies like intentionally invest in bringing people together, facilitating growth of their soft skills and social activities, that may lack even if they're present, and something may happen naturally. And this is one part that we really focus on, and I'm so proud of our team right now, and growing,
Yeah.
because every new anchor, and this is how we call our employees, every new anchor that comes on
Okay.
board, the culture just brings them in, and they say, I've never been part of another company that on day one I feel like I've been here for so much longer, and
Mm.
it offers me also pride and satisfaction that we have such an amazing team.
Excellent, Jeta. And also, we see sort of the broader space of outsourcing seems to be something that goes up and down. It's a bit of a roller coaster, but there's very much this trend at the moment, seeing where value can be added by outsourcing certain services, whether it's the software side, whether it's HR. There's more of a familiarity, and companies are more comfortable actually outsourcing and realizing the benefits of how this strategy can deliver for them.
Yes, absolutely, and we're in this space, so we do believe there's still a lot of great value added that's being created through outsourcing. However, maybe different from the common knowledge, I want to say that you only tap into outsourcing for cost efficiency. That does remain true often, because for example, in Kosovo and some parts of Eastern Europe and parts of South of Asia and Latin America, the cost of labor it's lower, and so
Yeah.
companies that are in more developed countries can benefit from cost efficiencies without reducing, the quality of the work. But it's not solely to get into, gaining cost efficiencies, but it's also to expand the talent that you can tap on. It's to gain access on specialized skill sets, to have more agile, more project-based business models that that will not be sustainable. Maybe sometimes it's one-off project, sometimes it's you have a spike, you have a seasonal rush of work, and this is
Yeah.
where you can take that outside so that you don't distort completely your internal already working structures to try to accommodate one-offs.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's often strategic expertise. Then there's a lot of emphasis, though, in increasingly in compliance, in privacy, data privacy, and and security. And compliant with all kinds of rules like
Yeah.
GDPR and ISO standards and all that, because this is how you can, because due to increasing sensitivity and cyber threats and all that, you need to make sure that as an outsourcing providers, there are some mechanisms in place that sometimes
Mm,
puts few extra layers, regardless of the country where you're based. These are internationally recognized standards that you can invest on so that you make outsourcing attractive for companies that are well established and in working in these dynamic economies that would need to tap into it. I think outsourcing definitely does offer more benefits. There's also freelancers, and that is in a
yeah.
way part of uh, the puzzle that can be, uh, fit with freelancers. However, I think the two have very different applicability, and then obviously companies that are considering either should be mindful of the nature of the project that they're working on,
Mm,
the length, the sustainability of the service that they need, the security or the reliability. Because for example, through outsourcing or an outsourcing partner, you have a partner and you know that the job will be done, and the individuals inside, the employees, the contributors, there you don't have direct relationships. It's easier to manage one provider rather than 12 people that are working around the world,
yes.
scattered as
Yeah.
freelancers, and brings back that sort of issue or weakness of the system when it comes to collaboration and coming with joint solutions to kind of maximizing that talent and potential. But I think there are a lot of companies that are navigating this space. We see a lot more that technology companies, maybe because of their structures, how they work internally, they might be based in the US and all their current employees are in the US, but they never actually meet. They're all over. So it really doesn't matter if parts of their team is augmented through a team in Kosovo, because
Yes.
anyway, everyone's working remote and everyone uses the same tools. And or maybe also the flexibility in the mindset of founders and people who lead technology companies just makes it a little bit easier to see that those are the first runners who are typically maybe taking advantage of outsourcing.
Absolutely. I think there is this going forward more and more of this need for hybrid blended teams. So the mixture of full-time employees, contractors, outsourced talent, freelancers, and bringing in and blending together the sort of the knowledge, skills, and expertise that it is out there. And of course, AnchorzUp has a huge role to play within this ecosystem. And yet, it's been fantastic for to have you on, speaking a little bit about some of the trends on the go. And many congratulations on the continued growth and the vital role that your company is playing within this space. So, hope to speak to you again very soon about these activities.
Glenn, thank you so much for having me. Obviously, we're just getting started, so there's so much more
Right.
coming up. Best of luck to you, and have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed.